So you will get these three windows, and this is our console. Whatever we write in the script window, we run there, then we get the output here. This is our global environment window. I will explain you one by one later on. And this is our files, plots, packages, help viewer. Okay. We require some script window. Then what we will do, we will click here on the left side, and here is the R script. You could use the Control Shift N also. And I click on here, so I will get this fourth window. This is my first window now. This is my script. Okay. Whatever I could write here anything. Okay. And it will be saved in a real time. Okay. And when I run this, I will get the result on the console. The window below it. This window, I will get the result. So before this all, I would like to explain how to create a project in R. Not the console, this is the script window. Okay. We click here and you will get the script window. I want to create a new project here in R. And what is project? Project is basically a folder where we keep all the files. Suppose data visualization is my project here. You see all the files in this folder I could see here. All sort of files. PDF, whatever, the Word file, every file. Okay. So that is basically my project. Suppose I want to create a project, and just a moment, give me a minute. So I did this, and this also I delete. Okay. Now I create one new project. How we could create a project? Because sometimes we simultaneously work on various projects. So in 2 hours we are working on some other project, 2 or 3 hours, and the other time we are working on some other project. In this way, so we should have a separate project folders for each of the project. So you see on the right side, right top, we click here, and here is a pop-up window now, and the drop down menu we have, and here we will get one new project. So I will click on this new project, and it will ask me the current project I want to save or no, I don't want to save. So I don't want to save this current project, and you see I will get one pop-up window. Then there is a one is the new directory, second is the existing directory, third is the version control. So I want to use a new directory. It is a new project. I want to make a new folder for this. So it is a new directory. If I have a folder already, I want to make that folder as a project. So then existing directory. Does that make sense to everyone? If you have already a folder, here you see it is the folder is showing. In this folder, we are creating a R project. Here we are creating a new directory, new folder, and with the R project. Does that make sense to everyone? So I am creating a new directory, and that new directory I want to make project. Okay. So what I do, I just click on here, and I will get these options. So I don't have to worry about these all. I will just click on the first one, which is a new project. Okay. And here I will write the name of the folder. Directory name is the folder name. Suppose I write the name of the R fundamental, R tutorial, whatever you could write. So R tutorial I am writing. R tutorial. This is my project name. and I will mention the path also. I don't want to put this project here in the D file. I want to put this project on my desktop. So I could browse it, and I could select that path. Here I want. So we could easily access it. No? So I open it. Now this path has been set for this project. I will tell you later on use our environment with this project. I will explain you later. Not it is not compulsory now. So you don't tick here. We just create project, and you will see that we have got this new project R tutorial. Okay, it is our new project. In this new project, we don't have any file except this R project file, because this is our project, and we got this. I will show you my desktop now. So here you will see there should be some R project. R tutorial, sorry. This is the R tutorial. If I click on this, so you'll see R tutorial project. I have created it 5/15, 21/10, 2020. Okay. Now, what I want to do, I want to create a script file. So I just click here and click on the R script. I will get the script file. How do we start here? We see. If you have to write the comment on the script, so what is comment basically? Comment is the R will not read it. R will not be integral with this comment. So whenever you have to write the comment, you have to use the hash button, hash sign, and then you could write anything. It would be a comment. R will not work with this comment. So I write anything you could write here. I just written the R basics. If I run this, I put a cursor here in this line and I click this button run. So I won't get any output in the console. If I select this and then I run this, so it just print this thing. It will not take any action. R will not take any action. It just print it. Okay. It will not take any action. If I write without hash anything, if I write without hash, I write without hash, I write basics. And I run this. What I get in the console? I get the object basics not found. Now R is reading this basic word and it is matching in its environment. There is no basics. This object has not been assigned in R. So it is giving us the error. If I write A, even if I write A only, and I run this, R will not recognize what is A. If I use the hash before it, sorry, and I run this, so it will not give me any output because R will not read it. It will treat as a commit. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Now, this is the first time I have explained you. Now the second thing. I want to create a new project again. And I want to create that project in an existing directory. So first I create one folder somewhere. I create one folder on my desktop. New folder I am creating here. New folder name. I will give it to a name. New folder. I give name R. My first session. I write my first session. What it? I create this folder. I will show there is nothing in this folder. I want to create this folder as a R project. Folder is I already exist. It means my directory is there. I want to assign a folder here, assign a project here. Does that make sense to everyone? So what I existing directory, I am using the existing directory because I have already a folder, and just I will give the path of that folder. Where is that? So I will go to desktop, and there is my first session. I click here, so it is here, and I will open it, and I will create the project, and you will see now it is my first session. This project has been created and now it's open. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, is it clear? So now I want to open some project. I know we know that how to create the project. If you have the folder already with the existing directory, or new folder if you want to create, and then you want to create a project, you know the both way how to create a project. Is there any doubt now? No doubt. So what I will do, I will open one project now. The previous project I will open. So how to open the project you already have. So you open project and you go to the path. There in the desktop I have that project, or that was the R something. I have written the R tutorial. So I'm opening this. So I will click here and I will click here and it will be open. This project has been opened, and you see I have not saved this project. I have not saved the file. I have not given the script name. Here it is the untitled one already, but it has saved. Everything is as I have lived. It was as at that position. No, there is nothing as erased now. So it's saved in a real time. Okay, now what we are going to study today, we are going to study about the data types. Every programming language has a different data types. So we will study about the R data types. So first data type, we have a vector. Then second data type, we have, just a moment, list. And third data type, we have matrix. Then fourth data type, we have array. Fifth data type, we have data frame. And sixth data type, we have factor. There is a contradiction in the factor. Some says it is a data type, some says it is a type of vector. Okay. So we are treating as a data types here separately. We see here how we could create a data type, create a vector. First, we study about the vector, how we could create a vector, or what is the utility of the vector, how it could be accessed. So first we are going to start the vector. We see how to create a vector. So How to create a vector? Suppose x, I am creating a vector, object name is x, and I am assigning this x as 5. And I click the enter. You see there is no effect anywhere. Not in the console, no in a global environment. This is our global environment. There is no effect of this. Then I create another vector, which is 7. And I enter here. There is no effect anywhere. It is not working or not working. We don't. When you write anything in the script, you just press the enter key. It will just like a, if you are typing in the Microsoft Word like that, the script will not run. If we have to run the script, we have different ways to run the script. Either you put your cursor anywhere in this line, anywhere, not at the end, you could put anywhere, and you click this run button, and you see here in the global environment there is x, the value is assigned 5. It is now in our environment. Whenever now you write the x, it will give us the 5 value, because we have assigned 5 to x. So if I write x and I run this, one option I have explained you how to run it. Second option, there is a short key, you can note it down, control then enter, control enter. So it is also to run the script. This is the short key to run the script, control enter. So you see when I write only the x and it is giving me x is 5. Similarly, I could run the script. If I select this and I could click on it, it will be run also. This is another way. And if I had to ask what is y, I just write the y and control enter, or I could run the script through the button also. So y is now in our environment, x is now in our environment, and the value is also assigned to them 5 and 7 respectively. So I want to know what is it, what is x and what is y. We know the value is 5 and 7, but what is it? Is it vector or not? So we have a function is dot vector. It is a question like is dot vector. It will give us the logical response true and false. If it is vector, it is true. If it is not, then it will give us false. So I just put the x. I am asking about the s. The x dot vector is dot vector is x. So it is true. Is dot vector of x is true. It is a vector. Similarly, if I ask for the y, it will also say the true. Okay, it is a vector. We have a different classes in the vector. We have the classes like numeric, classes like double, classes like character, classes like logical. So we have various raw class, complex class. We have the various classes in the vector. So I would like to know the class of this x, class of this x vector. So I will just ask class x and I control enter. So I will get it is a numeric class. If you have a numeric class, you have a double class, you have an integer class. It means you could perform mathematical or arithmetical operation with this class vectors. Is it clear to all? If I ask about the y also, it is also numeric. So now I would like to perform some operation here. X plus y, 12. 5 plus 7 is 12. You see, x plus y, when I perform this operation, this had not come here because I have not used any equal sign assignment symbol here. Okay. And I perform some other function. I will get the result only in the console. I will not get the thing in the global environment. It will not take x minus y. I will get minus 2 x into y. For multiplication, we have to use the asterisk symbol. That is the 7 5 is the 35. Now I want to divide x divided by y. So I will get 0.7142857. I want the x square. So I could use double asterisk, then 2, x to the power 2. Or I have another option. I will use the cape 2. I will get 25. Okay. Again I divide, but I divide y by x because x is smaller than y. So I get 1.4. Now I want to divide, but I want only the remainder. What remainder? I am getting the quotient here. I want the remainder. If I have a requirement of the remainder, then y percent x. It is the infix function. Sometimes the functions we use the infix function. So these are all addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are always between your arguments, whatever you are taking x and y. Between that you are writing something, some function that is called the infix function. So addition, multiplication, subtraction, these are all infix function. So percent is also infix function. Okay. So I run this. So I am getting 2 because if you divide 7 by 5, so we'll get the remainder 2. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So we have seen numeric vector and there are some operations. Now I want to create some character vector with some name and something like the name of the city or name of the person. So I am using one A as an object name, and we have another assignment symbol. Up to now we have used the equal sign for the assignment. Here I am using some other symbol, this one. Smaller than minus, or you could get, you have a short key to get this sign, alt minus. You note it down, alt then minus. This is a short key. Got it? And I am assigning India, and I run this. If I ask what is A, I will get India because the India is in our global environment, and we could see it. Now it recognizes what is A. The previously when I had written the A, it has given us some error. Now it is not giving us error because it recognized the A, because we have run the script A is equal to India. Does that make sense to everyone? So I want to ask whether it is vector or not. As dot factor A. So it is true, it is a vector, but I want to know the class of this vector. Class of A. So the class of this vector is character. If you have a character vector, you could not do the arithmetical operation with this. What it? You could not perform any arithmetical operation. So this is our character vector. Now I am taking one more. I am assigning, I have assigned x5. I show you the x once again. X is 5. Now I am using x is greater than 7. So what would be the response? X is 5 basically. I am asking x is greater than 7. What would be the response? Can somebody tell me? We could concatenate it, but I will explain you that concatenation function later on.
Will give false value.
It will give the false value. Correct. I am just talking about the arithmetical function, I mean, this time. And later on, I will tell you what function we could use with the character data. There would not be a mathematical arithmetical function. There may be a joining and joined and this all thing, the concatenation, paste, this all things. So we are getting the false, correct? And I could not find the class of this because it is an operation, but I have not given any object name to this. So first I give the object name. Suppose I give the object name T and then I again run it. So if I am giving the object name, it will come in my environment. Otherwise, it will not come. So I have assigned this. So T is now in my environment. If the value of T is false, whenever I will write T and I, so it is false. Now I want to know whether it is vector or not. So is dot vector T, it is a vector. But I want to know the class. Logical class is this. Understand? So I have explained this all in the classifications of the data. The last classification according to function. And I explained you the numeric, then character, and then logical. So it is a logical. Does that make sense to everyone? But what is vector? In your data frame, like Excel sheet, every column, every variable is a vector. In your data frame, every column is a vector. So here we have created on the vector with only a single value. We have created the vector with single variable. In data frame, we have lots of value in one variable. So how can we create multi-element vector? Okay, so we see that I am assigning x here again, and I am using alt minus. For creating a multi-element vector, you have to use the small c. It means combine, and use the round bracket, this parenthesis. Under between these parentheses, you could write whatever you want, the elements you could write. So I'm writing few elements here. These elements, sorry. And I run this. You see there is a x is 5 in the global environment. When I run this, then what will happen? So the overlap to each. Next taken that x place. In the square bracket is the position, 1 to 7 position. So I have the 7 element here. Okay. And if I write that, it is a case sensitive language. If you have written in the small, then you use the small one for that. Don't use the capital one. So I run this. You see, this is my vector with multiple. I ask whether it is vector or not. It is vector. I would like to see the class of this again. It is a numeric class. There are 7 elements. I make another vector. I make another vector. I make another vector 1 is to 7. So this, in this way, I could also create the vector of the integer vector. I could write here -1 also. It is an integer, maybe positive or negative. I write here 5, not 5. Yeah, 5. And I run this. So I'm getting 7 element, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will get the integers in this way. This is also a kind of vector. I ask this dot vector. Why? It is true. I want to see the class of this. Class integer now. It is not a numeric, it is an integer. So integer is a part of the numeric, part of the real number. Okay. So whenever we get this sort of vector, we could perform mathematical operation. So first I show you x here in the console, and then I will print the y also, and then I perform some operation, x plus y. So you see what happening here. 4 plus minus 1 is 3. 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 1 is 8. Correspondingly, it is adding on the things. Corresponding. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Similarly, I could subtract it. I could divide it. I could multiply it. All the operations which we have performed previously, we could perform here. Is there any doubt now? Yeah. Correct question, Mr. Javed. If vector size will not same, what I do, I remove 2 items from here and I run this. Now there are 5 items and the y there is 7 items. Okay, I perform this. You see, I am getting one error. Just a moment. I am getting one error here. The longer object length is not the multiple of shorter object length. Either it should be equal or it should be multiple of the shorter object name. So longer object name is 7 and the shorter object length is 5. So I will write here 8 and I am getting the 10 length now. You can see here. And there is 5, there is 10. Now I will show you again x and y. And I perform this. So I am getting the addition, multiplication, division. What it do, how it is performing this, I explain you. You see here we have 4, 2, 7, 1, and 9. And then in the second y we have -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is my y and this is my x. I am doing x plus y. So it is 3, it is 2, it is 8, it is 3, it is 12. Now this will shift to here. 4, 2, 7. Oh, what happened? Y is 1 to 10, -1 to 8. So I have written 42719. 42719. So what is the difference? Oh, 3 I have written 2 times. Sorry, I think this I have written 2 times. I just a moment. So okay, right here. So it is again 4, 2, 7, 1, 9. So it is 8 now. It is 7 now. It is 13. It is 8. Or it is 17. See here. 3 2 8 3 12 8 7 13 8 17. Got it? Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Correct. Now we have seen this how to create a multiple element vector. For character also we see how to create the multiple element vector. So here I am writing the name of the cities. You could use the double quotes or the single quotes, whatever you, and you write the letters. You see, it is a multiple element vector, but it is a character. Class is character because these are the letters or under quotes. I want to access something from this vector. So I will write the vector name and I will use the square bracket. In the R, indexing starts with 1, not with 0. In the other programming language, the indexing starts with 0. But in R, it starts with 1. So I want to access Bhopal. So what I have to write here? Position of Bhopal is 1, 2, 3. And I run this. So I will get Bhopal. If I want to put here 4, what I will get now? What output I will get of this?
Gwalior.
Gwalior, correct. Now I want to change this Gwalior. I want to put here Delhi. And I run this. And then I run X. There is a Delhi instead of Gwalior. Does that make sense to everyone? We could access it. We could substitute, impute something instead of some other elements. But we could not delete any element from vector. If I want to delete Ujjain, if I want to delete Bhopal, I could not delete it. I could substitute something there. So when I don't want to put there anything, then what I will do? Instead of Bhopal, I don't want to put anything. I want it should be a blank shell over there. So what I will do, the third place is Bhopal, and I will write the NA capital. Not applicable. It will be a missing. No, it is a blank cell you will get over there. Then I show you the X. You see here, there is NA. It is a missing. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. Any doubt?
No, sir.
We could not reduce the size of the vector, but we could increase the size of the vector. I want to add one more after Ujjain. I have 5 positions only. I want to use the sixth position. Okay. There is no sixth position. If I ask about the x6, I will get the na. There is na. There is nothing. And if I run this, so I will get only the 5 elements. So for the sixth place, I would like to write the name Patna. And I run this. And then we run the for x. So I will get the Patna over here. If I write the at ninth place, see what happens. Now I see the x. You see what happens. After Patna, Patna was the sixth place. There was no element at the seventh place and the eighth place, and I want to put on the ninth place, Calcutta. So the two places are still there in between, 6 and 9. That place is 7 and 8. So it will automatically take NA there. Now if we see the length of this x, we have a length function to measure the number of elements. So there are 9 elements we have. And I want to know how many NA are there. So there is a function is dot NA. Is dot NA will give us the true and false basically. If I write first, I show you is dot NA. Is dot NA. And I will write the x. In x, I want to see what is the position. First position is not NA. Second is not NA. Third is NA. True. Then here is also Na2, this one and this one. This is the eighth position. Correct? So what does this square bracket mean? It is shows the position of the first element here. If the first element position is the first. Here this Na position is eighth position in that vector. So I want to know how many NS. So I will just put the sum is dot Na. How many? So it will explain me there are 3 NAs in this vector. Does that make sense to everyone? Is there any doubt now? Yeah. Is there any query? Na is the missing value. Wherever the missing value you have, the blank cell we get, that is a Na. In our Excel sheet, in some cell we have not written anything. The missing data. Understand? It represents the missing data. Na not available. Not available. Does that make sense to you? Okay. It's very simple. You run this script 2 or 3 times. Which script I will send you. You run this 2 or 3 times. It will be remember. It's not it's not a very odd formula. Length, we this terminology we already know. Na? We know length. Length means what? How long is the thing? How many elements are there? And whatever we will use the function, it would be in the general terminology. No need to write the so many functions. Only 27, 80, 30 functions we have to remember. And we could perform the analytics. Okay. Script R is case sensitive. Script, what does it mean? The script you will run in the R, so it is the case sensitive. Javed. If I write capital X instead of small x, if I want to run this, or I have assigned the small x, and I'm in the script, I'm writing the capital X, then I run this. X not. Put NA in data. You put NA in data. NA, this is a keyword we are using. So it is a capital. We have to take in capital. We could not take in small when we assign NA. Or this is a function. This is the method or the function. Position of data point I will explain you later on. Where the NA, everything we will see, and then we could fill it. Okay. Yeah, R is case sensitive. Got it about this thing? Okay. Now uh, we are now aware about the vector. We know how to create the vector, how to manipulate the vector. We know. Now the next data type, which is list. Okay. List. So for this I will explain you the definition of the list first, and I take that file from there. You will get this script with you. I will share this script today. There is a data types R core class 1. The vector I have explained you already. These all things I have explained you. You have to run this script, then you have to write this all in a blank script. You use your own values in the vector and try to perform this task. Second data type is a list. Lists are the R objects which contain elements of different types. And in vector, one more thing I would like to explain in vector. Suppose I am making a vector X. Oh, just a moment. This 3 button is always disturbing me. This I have. If I run this and I see this vector, so this is my vector. What I do, I just put one number under quotes. It may be single or double quote, whatever. So I run this. Now I run this. Before running, I will show you the class of this. The class is named. Now I run this and I will print it. So you will see all the numbers in under quotes, not that one which I put only the 4. And I see the class now. So class is character. So the vector is always a one class of. One type of element should be there. If you have converted something, so it will convert in character. You have put any one in a character form, it will convert the whole vector in character. So it is only of one type. So here, what in the list are the object which contains elements of different types. In list, we could write an element of different types: numbers, strings meaning the character, vectors, and another list inside it. But in vector, we could not use any subvector in a vector. Vector is always independent. Every vector is independent. We could not put a vector inside a vector. Okay. But in list, we could put so many vectors in a list. We could put single elements in the list, any data type, the numbers or strings, whatever you want. You could put matrix in a list. You could put arrays in a list. You could put the data frame also in a list, or you could even use list in a list. So this is the difference between vector and list. And the one demerit of list is what? We could not apply arithmetical operation in list. Understand? So how we create the list, we see first. I am making a L1 list. The name I am giving the L1. And the function, as you see in the vector, we are using the function C, small c. Here we have to write in the small list. For creating a list, I am creating a list of few numbers. Okay. And I run this. And if I see this L1, so you see the list would always be vertical. But when you see the vector is horizontal. When we print the vector, it is horizontal. But we print the list, it is a vertical. In a list, every element is a sublist of that list. Here, 3 is a sublist of this list. So in the first sublist, first element is 3. Second sublist, this is the second sublist. In the second sublist, the first element is 433. Third sublist, first element is 1. Fourth sublist, first element is 6. Then later on in the same way. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So now I will use here, so it will save my time. I'm making a list with one character read, one logical true, 3.5 is numeric or double, 1 is to 10 is the integer, 67L is also integer. Okay. And this is a character. And name I have given list underscore data. And I run this. I will show you. This is my list. Okay. And I will see the class of this list. The class would be list always. Okay. Now I am making another list underscore data, the same name I am using, but list is different now. Here I am taking one vector, January, February, March, which is the first quarter. And it is the 1 to 10 is this is an integer, this is a mix. There is a green in the quotes and 7.5 is a number. And there is a matrix I am putting. I will explain you the matrix later on. The next data type is matrix, but I will not tell you about the matrix. We don't want to go in that way. I just run this and I will show you. So look at this list. This is my first, second, third, and fourth is the matrix. 2 by 5, 2 row and 5 columns matrix I am making here. So there are different type of classes or the elements we are taking. Now I want to give this all sublist some name. The first I want to give the first quarter, second I want to give the integer, third I want to give the mixed, and fourth one I want to give the matrix. So there is a names function. Here is a bracket. It is a function, therefore it is a left side function. It is a two-way function, generally we say it. But generally we get the function on the right side. And if you left side you are not getting any bracket, then it is the object name. If you are getting the bracket on the left side, then it is a function. And always on the right side you will get one vector. So in this function, names function, we are writing this list underscore data. Here we have the 4 elements, and every element we want to give some name. So the first element we are giving first quarter, second integer, mixed, and matrix. This is the vector. We always take the vector on the right side. And I will show you now. So you see, instead of this indexing, there is first quarter, integer, mixed, and matrix. So we could give the name also. Now we see how to access the list item as we have seen earlier. Either we could use the indexing or we could use the name. If you have given the name, then you could have used the name also. So list, I am taking the second one. So if you see the second one, this is our second one. So if I access this, what I will get? This one. Okay, send this integer. This is my second one. You see second. Okay. I could also use the name of that particular element, sublist. So it is the name of that sublist, the integer. Now I want to access from one. One I have this one. In first sublist, I want the second element. So whenever I will write the sublist, I will use the double square bracket instead of one. Okay. And the final what I want, I will use in the single square bracket. So in the first sublist, I want the second element. So it would be a February. Similarly, I can use the name also, but in the double bracket. And that element index. Is there any doubt? Yeah. Now we see manipulating list elements. We can add, delete, update list elements. And we can add and delete elements only at the end of the list. But we could delete at the end of the list. Add and delete. But we could update any element. Okay, but in vector we could not delete at the end. We could add, but we could not delete in a vector. So add element at the end of the list. So we had the 4 position in the list only. List of 4 you see here. I am adding 5th one, which is a single character degree. I add on this. And if I show you the list now, so there is 5 elements. Third one element, which is a mixed, I want to remove. So I will try and I will show you the list. So third is not here. That mixed is not here now. 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Okay. And update the third element. Now the third element is matrix. I want to update this. Instead of matrix, I want to use the pure one character only instead of this matrix. And I will show you the list. So there is matrix has gone and there is a one element that is a pure. Does that make sense to everyone? In the second sublist, the fifth element is 5. I want to write there 2. So I could use in this way. We have already learned about it. Okay. Now we see merging list. How we could merge two lists in a list. So I'm making one list 1, which is this one, and list 2, which is this one, and I'm merging them. That's very easy. I will just write the list 3. I will use the list function itself again. In this list function, I will write the list 1 and comma list 2. So it will be merged. And this is my list 3. You will see the all elements I have merged here. Okay. How to update the index 4 to a specific name once it is created. Okay. So it was in our previous, no? Yeah. Instead of 4, you want some name. Okay. So what we will do here, I will write names list underscore data, then square bracket 4, and then what name you want. You suggest me. I mean, what name we should write there. I write the 4 only, and later, okay, and I run this, and I will show you this. Look at there. Sorry. Got it? So in this way, we could write the name, the names, this data, and then say the position. At that position, it will be saved. No problem. Okay. Now, merging list I have explained you. Now, the last thing in the list, the converting list into vector. Suppose you have a list. You have a list, pure list. Pure list means you have a numeric, you have a character. You could convert any list in a vector. No problem. It is a mix, then you could convert it. But better to convert when we use when we convert, when we have to apply some arithmetical operation. So that it should be the numeric value in the list. So I am creating this list, or I will show you the class is list and the list is this one. And the function is very simple. Just write the unlist. And I put here new name y. Okay, for vector. Or I use the v instead of x. V for vector. unlist X, and I will see the class of V. So it is the numeric class. And if I print this, I will get, now it is vector. And I ask, instead of this, I ask if. So it is true. It is a vector. What it? Have you got what we have read so far? Karma. Okay. And Poonam, Kosalji. Hmm. And Sonia. Yes, Ellie, what you are speaking something?
No, sir.
Okay. And some other fellow want to ask something? We have more data types matrix. We could continue now if you like. I have seen that there were 53 or participants and 6 left. Okay, it happens because those may be sometimes high, and it's just the starting. You have to keep the patience here. The starting, if you at the starting moment, if you hesitate, you could not learn it. No, you must have some patience at the initial stage, and day after tomorrow you will be very very ease with this hour. These 2 days are very crucial now, because in the last 2 days you have taken only the theory, and I explained you the theory, or we say it is in our Indian mythology we use some uh, Satyanarayan ji ki katha, है ना. इट इज जस्ट लाइक ए सत्यनारायण जी की कथा की कलावती ने लीलावती से कहा, और दस जस्ट लाइक दैट यू हैव लिसन द थिंग ओनली, है ना, जस्ट लाइक ए पंडित और द प्रोइज सेज. And now you have to work something on this. You have to use your mind. You have to understand this. Okay. So maybe little bit you have to keep some patience. And the day after tomorrow you will be very easy with art, because you are just entering in that field. Because nobody has done the programming languages. I think that most of you. So first time you are facing this, what is the programming language, what are the data type, what is list, what is vector. We just know the numbers and the characters previously. We have not seen the data types and how does it work. So only 2 days we have to keep the patience, and then you will be very very easy with this R. Okay. So let us continue the session with matrix. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me share my screen with you and keep it continue. Yeah, most of the things in all the programming languages are same. Little bit maybe the name may be different, maybe one or two data types maybe that they have bifurcated or this type. है ना? So we continue it. Now the next data type is matrix. Everybody, most of you know the matrix. What is matrix? If somebody don't know, please uh, write here on the chat box if you don't know, without any hesitation. Because the sum of may get some other subject after 10, so they don't know what is matrix. Yes, if somebody knows, it's okay, no problem. If somebody don't know, it's a problem. Okay. So I explain the matrix first. So matrix basically it is an arrangement. Matrix is an array. Array means here arrangement. Well, it is the word from the arrangement. It is an array of elements in rectangular form. Rectangular form in the rows and column. Does that make sense to everyone? We could not find out the value of a matrix. It is only the arrangement of the elements. Arrangement of elements. The matrix have been used in defense, or we could say in wars. Still now the war, the scenario is totally changed. Now there is a war like army war is not there on the land. Previously the war always occurred on the land. Now there is a some war of different times war are there. There is a navy, there is a air force. So now we don't have that sort of war. It is very, it's not a war like that. They go in the ground and front of each other and they start the war. There's not like that now. Okay. So at that moment, matrix was very, very important. They have to arrange their army in rows and columns in such a way that their army could interact more and more soldiers of the opposite army can interact with the more and more soldiers of opposite army. So that is the matrix calculation. If I tell you the Hindi meaning of the matrix, that is the avyu. It is a avyu word we use sometimes. The most of the foreign participants are there, but they may be aware of one thing which I am going to explain, that there is a chakravyu we have heard in the Mahabharata. Chakravyu. Chakravyu is nothing, it is a cyclic matrix. That cyclic matrix nobody could create up to now. No mathematician is not able to create such cyclic matrix. So that is also a kind of arrangement in a cyclic way they have done. If somebody enter in that cyclic matrix, could not find out, no, could not get out from that cyclic matrix. That is that sort of arrangement. Only the few people at that moment of the Mahabharata knows that. Krishna, or like the Dronacharya and the Bhishma Pitama and the Arjun. So that is a cyclic matrix. Here we are talking about the rectangular matrix because we know about the rectangular matrix only. Okay. So we write the matrix in this square bracket. We could use this bracket also. We could use this bracket also to write the matrix. Mostly we apply this one. Or we could also use this two line here and the two line, not the single. We could write the elements in this. It is a matrix. I mean, there are rows and columns. Suppose here I am writing 3, 1, 5, 7, 2, 0, minus 5, 4, 2. So the first thing is the order of matrix. Order of matrix, if I say this matrix is A. So order is 3 by 3. First we write the row, second, then column. So there are three rows, R1, R2, and R3. And the three columns, C1, C2, and C3. Does that make sense to everyone? This is a matrix. Order may be 2 by 3, maybe 3 by 3, 1 by 3, whatever. Okay? Understand what is matrix basically? It is only the arrangement. We could find out the determinant of the matrix. That is the determinant is nothing. It is the determinant is only for the square matrix. Square matrix is what? 3 by 3, 2 by 2, 4 by 4. This sort of matrix. Oh, these are called the, we could find out the determinant of those matrix only. We could not find out the determinant of 2 by 3 matrix, where the number of rows are different from the number of columns. Okay. And there is one identity matrix also. And the identity matrix is also for the square matrix. That is the 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1. This is the diagonal of the matrix. In the diagonal, the element value is 1, other where is 0. Does that make sense to everyone? Now we see, we create some matrix, and later I will tell you when the things will require, I will explain you. So we are going to make a matrix, and we have the syntax of matrix. If I tell you, the small, in small we have to write the matrix. First we have to use the data. Later on we'll write the number of row. Number of row you write, number of column is not required. You could write both, but if you write the row, it will automatically calculate the number of column. And then by row, true or false. I will explain this thing also. And dim names, dimension names. These four attributes are there in the matrix. These four attributes are there. Two are required matrix. Two are required attributes. This and these two are required attributes, which is required, which we have to write when we create a matrix. Suppose I am going to create a matrix of 9 elements. 3 is to 11. So I will get the 9 elements, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I want to create a matrix of 3 by 3. So n row is 3. And I run this. You got the matrix? Here in R, we will not get that square bracket or whatever. We won't get here in R. But in manually, we do in that way. Understand? You see here, this sequence is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in this way, vertically, column wise. If I write by row true, true, capital T, and I run this again, You see the difference between both the matrix. Now it is the by row 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Previously it was in this way. Does that make sense to you? It's very easy to create a matrix. Okay. Now the fourth attribute I will use the dimension names, which is a dim name. In the dim names, because I have to apply two vector, one vector for row and one vector for the column name. I have to give the names. Here you see there is a 1, 2, 3. I want to give some name. I want to give C1, C2, C3, R1, R2, R3. So I require two vector, one vector for row and one vector for column. So can I put a vector inside a vector? Yeah. Can I make any sub vector in a vector? Yeah. Then what I will take here from the previous two data types we have read, what data type I will use? List I will use. In list, I could apply two vector inside a list. Understand? So I will use here list function. In this list, I will use two vector. One vector for row and one vector for column. Row names and column names. For row names, I will start one vector. A vector I will write always with the small c. And here I will write first vector would be for row and the second vector would be for column always. It is default. So I will write in quotes R1, row 1, then comma, then quotes R2, then comma, then quotes R3. Sorry. Oh, I have to repair this. R3. And then after this bracket, I will put one comma, then another vector for column. So I have C1, sorry, capital C, then C2, sorry, then C3. Got it? Any doubt? So you see, I have put cursor here and I am getting the pair is here. You see it is in the shadow. If I put here, then I will get it is start from here and end here. If I put here, it will end here. I will put here, it will start here. So if you have to see where it is, after the parentheses you put your cursor, then you will get the pair is where. Okay. So I run this, you see, what it? What it? Is there any doubt? Hmm? It's very easy. Dimension names, you have to use the list function. In the list function, you write both the vector, one for the row name and one for the column name. Okay. Now, what I do, I make another vector, another matrix, which is my M1 matrix I am going to create. Okay. And in this M1 matrix, I am using a few elements. This so always it is very naughty. 3 is very naughty here. It is doing some disturbance. So there are 5 and 1 is 2. It is there already. 1. So there are 6 elements I am taking. So with 6 elements, how many types of matrix I could prepare? With the 6 elements, I have the 6 elements. So I could prepare 1 by 6, 1 row and 6 column. I could create 6 by 1, 6 row and 1 column. Understand? 1 row and 6 column would be like that. In the similar way, 1 row and 6 column. I will get in this way. 3, 2, 10, 4, 8, 1. This matrix 6, 1 by 6. 6 by 1 would be vertical. 3, 2, 10, 4, 8, 1. Understand this two? Second, 2 by 3, 2 into 3 is 6, and 3 by 2 also. Okay. So I could create 4 type of matrix. I am creating 2 by 3 here. Understand? So it is not useful in data analytics mostly in the inferential analysis, but in the predictive sometimes we require this. Okay, so I am explaining you about the matrix. Understand? And here what I will do, and row I will have to show. What is 2 row, 3 columns I will get. And I run this. I am not using the by row true or dimension m. I am not using here. And I will show you m1. Look at this. This is my matrix. Suppose you have created some matrix without dimension names, and that matrix is in somewhere above in your script, and you have a very long script of 800 rows and 900. You don't want to go there. You know the name of the matrix m1, m2, m3, whatever you have given, and you want to give the name now, the rows and columns. But you want to go on that and you correct it. You again create it. You put this dimension name inside, and you don't want, you want to do at wherever you are at this current location, you want to that do that thing. So we have few function. We have a function row dot names, and we will write the matrix name inside that one. And on the right side, what we will take, I explained you earlier. Yeah, in the list name, what we have taken on the right side, which data type we have used over there. Vector, correct. So we will use the vector for row names. So we have row names here also. I write that the R1 and R2. R1. And there are only 2 rows, na? So I will put only 2 name. Sorry. R2. Got it? And I run this. Now I show you M1. You see there. In the console, you see there is R1 and R2 automatically. It has been fixed over there. I have no requirement to go to the matrix. I have done everything outside from the matrix using a function row dot names. Now I want to give the column names. So it is a call names, not the call dot names, call names for M1. Again, I will use that vector C1, sorry, C2, C3, and I run this. Now I show you again M1. Does that clear to us? Why I didn't use dimension names here? Suppose you have created a matrix on in your script, an upper side, there are so many rows before it, and you have created that matrix, or you have not mentioned their dimension names at the time of creation. At the some stage, you have worked on your script. After 1000 rows, you have a requirement to give the name to the rows and columns. Now you will go back to that position and then you correct it, because in the somewhere in mid between you have used the indexing for doing something in the matrix. So here itself you could change it at this location wherever you are, so it will apply to that matrix. Is it clear to you or not? Okay, now we have some other things in the matrix, how to access the value from the matrix. We see in the M1 we could access the value. I want to access this 10, so I will write the M1. I will use the square bracket. In the similar way, what we have used in the vector, we have applied this in the list also. Same thing we are doing here, but here first we write down the index of the row. So index of the row is 1, first row. The 10 is on the second column, and I run this. What happened? Oh, 10 I have written. This 2. First and second column. I have written the value there. The 10 I have got. Understand? Okay. So in this way you could access it, or if you want to change, you could write the whatever the value instead of that you write, you could write over there. So it will be changed. You could also use, I want the whole first row. So I will mention 1, or I could write the R1. I'm getting R1, not getting. I do one thing. Comma is required. You want the all common, all columns. No, that row. No, that will not work. That will not work. That is for the list only. No? There is no sub list. They are the row and columns. In the list, there is no row columns. There is sub list. I want some row. C2 column I want. Then I want all rows. So I will put the comma first. And I will get 10 and 4. You see the 10 and 4. 10 and 4 in these two columns. Second column, 10 and 4. But I will get in this way. No, don't worry about it. It will give the output in the vector form. Suppose I give this matrix an M2 and I run this. This is my M2 matrix. And this M2 matrix, I clear this first so you could better understand. This M2 matrix, I want to access this 6, 8, 9, 11. Second row and third row, and first and third column. So I will use for 2 rows or 2 columns I require. So I will use the combined vector. In the first vector, I will write the row indexing. So I'm using the second row and the third row. So I will write the 2, 3, second and third row. And then comma after this bracket, I will write the column indexing. So column indexing is first and 3. Understand? And if I run this, I will get this bracket 6 and 9 11. Understand? So we could take the cluster from a matrix. The similar thing we could do with the data frame also, whatever your data sets. Understand? What it? So this is a in this way you could access the multiple elements from the matrix. Now we have few operations we have to study. How we could add two matrix, how we could multiply two matrix, divide two matrix. But I think I will not take that operation today. Tomorrow we will study about it, because I have to explain manually also how we could add the matrix and subtract the matrix and divide the matrix. So tomorrow we will take that, and tomorrow we will finish this data types, and as well as we start few functions, although the basic functions we try to understand tomorrow. And then we, day after tomorrow, on the Friday, I will try to do the descriptive analysis, or maybe Saturday also we could do it. Okay. But that is not used in the inferential analysis mostly. But it is a data type of R. You are learning R. So you must know about this data type. So we are explaining here this data type. What it? Otherwise, it is not required in the inferential analysis. It will be required in a predictive analysis only. Okay, in the research, that is not compulsory to read this, but because it is a type of R data type, and then so I have to explain here, because if you use this certificate somewhere in your job, and they ask some questions about the matrix and array, then you could not be able to give the response. One may not be able to give the response, because we have the heterogeneous participants of the different field in a different area. So one must, it may be useful for someone. I think Mr. Mukesh was about to join us at the end. I just ping him whether he is available or not.
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Okay. So we are done for today's workshop, and tomorrow again 5 o'clock we'll meet. Make sure that those participants who there is some inquiries came that about the payments, please WhatsApp us or email us if you have any queries regarding the payments and payment gateway or how to pay. That there is a one participant yesterday about from Pakistan. She was able to manage the payment. So all the participants from Pakistan can contact her, so she can help you. Or I'll find her details and I'll just share. So apart from that, we don't have any update right now. So that's all for today, I believe. Let's meet again tomorrow. And the participants who are joining for the R intermediate can join after this workshop. Thank you very much. Sir, any other
Thank
things
you,
which
sir.
I missed today? Please, I want this session to practice more this application. Yes, you can practice more, Abdullah. What the basic of fonts. Okay, thank you. Sir, you are muted. You have to unmute.
Yeah. So I will share you one more thing. I would like to explain that whatever the script I will send you, how could you open it? You put that script in some folder and you click on here. I just saw you. Sorry, I share this screen with you. You see here in this my screen, you go to this folder and wherever you have kept that script. Suppose I have this script. The script for extension would be .r, and just click on here and you will get that script would be opened here. Now you could run it. It's very easy. Just go to this and you just wherever you have put it, select that script. It will be open here. No problem. Tomorrow I will tell you some more things about this, how to manage. This video, Abdullah, we have given already that drive link to the paid participants. Uh, so you could go to that drive link, Google Drive link, and could access the material from there. Yeah, you will get the new session of our intermediate later on. Mr. Mukesh, are you there? Sir,
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm here.
there are some
So for
queries.
the intermediate workshop, yes, will keep happening. But let's say that next intermediate workshop will be after November, maybe in December month it will be. And if there will be any new session will come, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. So sometimes it happens that we get a good number of batch size, so we start in middle also. But we'll let you know. We'll let you. Thank you. Okay. So we should end for the today's session.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have a nice evening, all of you. Those who enjoyed the session, just thumbs up and clap for sir if you have enjoyed the session. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.